What's going on, everybody? It's your boy JP, back again with another video. And today I have something that I think a lot of y'all are really interested in. Um, I um, I picked this up about 2 weeks ago, and obviously, if you couldn't read the text from the box there, it is the Poco F5 Pro. Now you can actually pick this up at wirelessplace.com or over eBay from a few different sellers with U.S. shipping. I've seen the price go for about $4.95 and up. This here is actually the 12 gigabyte model with 256 gigs of internal storage. I think they have an 8 gig model and a 16 gig as well. But again, this right here, this particular one that I have here is the 12 gig with 256 gigs of internal storage. No expansion for micro SD card slot. But other than that, shoot, I'm gonna get right into the specs. The screen on this thing is absolutely gorgeous. That's one of the huge selling points on this phone, which I'll get to here momentarily as well. But this has the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 processor. It does have a Quad HD 120 Hz AMOLED panel with HDR 10 Plus and always on display. And it is covered front and back with Gorilla Glass 5. It is the carbon color. So it's black, and you see these little carbon little design on the back. They're sorry for the fingerprints. It's obviously a fingerprint magnet, but beautiful phone, beautiful phone. And the screen really is drop dead gorgeous. I mean, this really doesn't do it any justice, honestly. This video here, but yeah, it's a beautiful phone, honestly. I love the design of it, but did not mean to kind of get mesmerized there for a minute. Sorry, y'all. I don't know how to talk there. I said memorized. But regardless, we're gonna move right along here. This phone does work on LTE, VoLTE, and 5G on AT&T and T-Mobile, at least in my area in the United States, which is Shreveport, Louisiana. Let's see. It is IP53 dust and splash resistant. The screen, I don't think I even told you the size of the screen. It's 6.67 inches. I always just say 6.7, but to be exact, it's 6.67 inches. And again, it is Quad HD with the 120 Hz refresh rate, and you can have those on at the same time. So that's great, because you still got some phones that don't let you have those two on at the same time. If you want 120, you have to scale the resolution down to full HD. And if you want Quad HD, you have to scale the refresh rate down to 60. I know at one point Samsungs were doing that. I don't think they are anymore, but there are still some phones that do. But this is a Samsung. I don't think it's an E6 panel. I think it's an E5 if I'm not mistaken. It'd be nice if it was an E6. That is the latest and greatest. I actually have another iQOO phone, the iQOO Neo 8 Pro, that does have an E6 AMOLED panel that I'll be doing a video on momentarily. But I've already had phones on this channel already anyways that have E6 panels. And if I'm not mistaken, your Samsungs don't even have E6 panels themselves, and they're the ones that make the technology. But again, of course, I could be wrong about that. But remember, as I also said, these have Gorilla Glass 5 front and back. Not Victus, not Victus 2, but Gorilla Glass 5 is perfectly suitable for the price and the specs you're getting. I mean, you really can't beat that, honestly. It does have Android 13 with MIUI 14 for Pogo on top. Of course, the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 is a 4nm chipset with the Adreno 730 GPU. And let's see, it does have, of course, because you don't have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, you're missing out on UFS 4.0, as this has UFS 3.1. but I really reckon most won't really even notice the difference. Not yet, anyways. I think that's something that people will really begin to notice the difference of later on as more budget phones get get UFS 3.1, and then your premium ones will have UFS 4.0, and then you just kind of, you'll be able to, of course. I mean, even now the line is blurred between some of your mid-rangers and your flagships. I mean, this phone is a prime example of that, honestly. This is essentially a rebadged Redmi. I forget exactly which one, but this is a rebadged Redmi phone. And they do have one that has the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 that looks exactly the same on the outside. It just has the beefier processor, and that's the Pro of whatever Redmi phone that is. I've lost count. And then the non-Pro, looks the same. It's this phone right here, essentially, with the 8 Plus Gen 1. But the cameras on this phone here are really decent, too. They do have image stabilization. It is a 64 megapixel. Let me turn it around there. It's a 64 megapixel wide angle. Then you have an 8 megapixel ultra wide. The 8 megapixel has an aperture of 2.2 at 120 degrees there, and the 64 wide main camera has an aperture of 1.8. And then you also have that, which most people will call useless, 2 megapixel macro. It does have, of course, a dual LED, dual tone flash, and it can do 8K video, but only at 24 frames per sec. But it can do 4K at 30 and 60 frames per sec. So that's great right there. It's great to know there. The selfie camera is a 16 megapixel wide, and it can do 1080p at 30 or 60 frames per sec. All in all, they're pretty decent, honestly, for what it is. Sorry for the stuttering there, y'all. It does have stereo speakers, no headphone jack, but it does have Wi-Fi 6, not 7, just 6, which is still, you still have a lot of phones that only have 5, so that's still pretty great. You do have Bluetooth 5.3, however, which I think is the latest as far as what's being put into phones at the moment. And NFC, it does have NFC. It does have your infrared port that a lot of people know Xiaomi for and love Xiaomi for that. I am one of them. If y'all watch Flossie Carter's videos, which are definitely far better than mine, he absolutely loves the infrared ports. The phone, sadly, is still USB Type-C 2.0, not 3.0. I'd really like to see these phones move up to 3.0. I mean, it's useful. I mean, things like AR glasses, for example. I'm testing out the Rocket Max AR glasses, and I had their previous ones, the Rocket Airs. I had the InReal Airs, which are now called the X-Real Airs. But I have the Rocket Max right now, and I had to use a wireless dongle to connect over a wireless connection, and it's not it works great, actually, but you could tell the input lag, and it'd be so much better if it had USB Type-C 3.0. So you can just hook the glasses directly up to the phone. But you do have a fingerprint sensor under the display, not on the side, but under the display on this phone. Poco kind of goes back and forth there. Redmi and Xiaomi, they go back and forth too. They're the reason why Poco goes back and forth. But it does have a 5160 milliamp battery, huge. It has 67 watt wire charging, and boom, it is in the box. Apple, Samsung, yeah, you already know. And it also, for a Poco phone, this is also pretty new. It also has 30 watt fast wireless charging, and it gets to about 50% in around 30 minutes, give or take, a little bit more, 31, 32 minutes, yeah, this phone is fantastic, really. Don't let last year's processor fool you. I mean, it's really not. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say last year's. I mean, it is, but like late last year, because it's not the 8 Gen 1, it's the 8 Plus Gen 1. And it works great with this phone for the price, for what you're getting. I mean, again, this screen is this is a high refresh rate, a high refresh screen that's AMOLED and is Quad HD, not just Full HD. Yeah, that's pretty insane, honestly. But y'all, y'all check this phone out. Don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on it. I have been very impressed with this phone thus far. You do get your little TPU, your clear deep TPU case. Golly, y'all, I'm sorry. I just got off of work not too long ago and my schedule changed. I got a big job promotion, big transfer. My hours changed a little bit. And that's actually why I've been so late getting these videos out. Because again, as I said at the beginning, I've had this phone for quite a while. For 2 weeks now, a little bit more, I think. So, yeah. Yeah, actually, I think it is right at 2 weeks. I think I got it 2 Monday because today's Monday. And I didn't get it last Monday, but the Monday before, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah. And a couple of days after that, I had gotten the U.S. version of the, the U.S. version would, once I tell you the name of the phone, you know it's the U.S. version because it's named something different in every single region. But I did get 2 days after this the Motorola Edge Plus 2023, which I'll also be doing a video on pretty soon too. Again, the iQOO Neo 8 Pro, which is currently the most powerful phone on the market with the Dimensity 9200 Plus chipset. That's coming soon there too. Got the TicWatch 5 Pro review coming soon. I may do one on the Roku Maxes. I may do one on the Asus Ally gaming handheld. Got quite a few things going on. A lot of good things. But nonetheless, I hope y'all have enjoyed this video here. Like I said, extremely snappy. You will not be disappointed with the screen. I mean, you got phones with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 whose screens don't compare to this. And of course your Poco phones, especially your Poco F series phones, they are, they don't really look like a Red Magic phone, but they are advertised as gaming phones. And the cooling on this phone is insane. They have they did upgrade the cooling system on this phone as well, and it's great. It's the thermal. I haven't had any thermal throttling issues or nothing like that with this phone. But anyways, I hope y'all have enjoyed this, and I will see y'all in my next videos. Peace out.